I think you say it all, man. I know I'm just knocking at the door, for that title shot, and basically that door is Frankie Edgar, you know, and my emotions right now. Well, I don't have any emotions right now. I mean, I feel just great. I've been preparing myself for this fight for a long time. My mental game, my mental mindset is right there. My weight is on point too. My preparation has been great. I feel just glad to be here in Vegas, getting away of Chicago to do something new here in Las Vegas. The place, they basically see me, watch me grow whenever I was filming the Ultimate Fighter House. And like I tell you, I feel amazing. I feel great. All the preparation has been great. My coach is here, and these last days that I'm gonna be here in Vegas is gonna be my last days of preparation. We wanna probably go have some run in the Red Rock and have some pad work and all that stuff, and finish hard my last part of the training camp.
And I know preparation. How do you prepare for a guy like Frankie? I think one of the toughest things about him is just his durability and his toughness. How did you prepare for that?
As always, I always been preparing myself to fight the best. I always told the fighter in front of me is the best fighter in the world. I don't look down to nobody. I don't look up to nobody. I seen everyone the same. I treat everyone with the same respect and with the same amount of training or even more. And this is an MMA fight. You gotta be prepared for every single thing in MMA. You're wrestling, you're grappling, you're Muay Thai or whatever. You gotta be prepared for everything. I say it that way because people keep on looking at MMA like a combination of martial arts, and MMA is just a different game. It's a whole different story. In MMA, you gotta find the holes on the other martial arts, like boxing, like Muay Thai. If you find the holes on those games, you're fighting MMA, and it's what I do, it's what I've been doing, it's what my coach has been helping me out with, and we start figuring that out, and you gotta be creative on that way, you cannot be the same fighter, so, like most of the fighters, they have the same patterns, they fight certain way, or they have one punch, or they have one throw, they have one number, or they have this and that. But what you can do with a guy like me, you don't even know what I'm gonna throw, what kind of kicks, or what kind of punches, or what kind of submissions, because I'm well-rounded. I've been in the sports, in contact sports, since I was 5 years old, and people forget about that. I'm 24 years old, and I've been 19 years of my life on contact sports. I'm not an amateur. I don't know if you guys see that, but I'm not an amateur. I'm a serious guy. I take this sport really, really serious. My life's in the line every time that I train and when I fight too, so I take it really, really serious.
Are you excited for the prospect that you're going into a guy, when you fought BJ, a lot of people said they thought he was past his prime and that it was an easier fight for you, but now you're going against
people is never going to be happy with nothing. Never. They're going to find something to talk about. This is the way the people is, but I don't care what people say or whatever, I don't care. I'm just here to fight the best fighters in the world, and the best fighters in the world are in the UFC.
Has it been difficult for you to deal with expectations that have come with every single weight? It's more and more is expected of you, and now you're going to be the next champion. Every fight there's more and more. Has that been difficult for you to deal with?
No, not really. It's just, fuck. Sometimes I cry because I'm happy, man. I'm really, really happy because all of this is happening to me, But what is happening to me? This is not just luck. I don't believe in luck. I believe in hard work. I work hard every day, like really, really hard. And my coach is here. He don't let me lie. He will slap me in the face if I lie. I work hard every day in every aspect of my game, mental game, spiritual game, physical game. Every single aspect of my game, I work on every fucking day. Every single day of my life is all what I'm sleeping with, thinking of it. I wake up thinking of it, I eat thinking of it, and I train thinking. All my life is around just one thing, and it's just become the best fighter in the world. That's it.
To be so focused like that, I mean, obviously your fame is rising. Every single fight, more and more people know who you are, more and more people see you. Has that kind of gotten in the way of that focus and that sole, drive that you have to do with all these other things?
No, I think this is great, because now I have the opportunity to tell you guys what I'm doing. So that is just getting into my mind more and more. Every time that I speak out, it's getting more in my mind. So I don't feel any pressure. I just feel amazing. I feel more support because of this, and this just helped me out to keep my mind sharp. To keep my mind sharp, this just take 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of my day, probably 10 if you want. I'll still training. I don't care, what I have to do during the day. At the end of the day, I will keep on training. I will keep finding the times and the ways to keep training my mind, my body, my spirituality too. To get everything together and keep on going.
You were just on a press row for the boxing, right?
Yes.
You went down and did some radio.
Yes.
What is that like? I mean, that's known as more of a Mexican sport as of right now than the UFC is.
Yes.
What was it like for you to be around that atmosphere of a big boxing match?
I mean, it's just for me. I mean, I don't mind to be respectful, but for me it's the same. It doesn't matter who's in front of me doing the interview. For me, it's the same. I treat everyone the same. It doesn't matter if it's boxing or taekwondo or Muay Thai or whatever. If they want to do interviews to me, for me it's gonna be the same atmosphere always. I just gonna speak out about what I think, about what I do, and that's it. I tell you guys the same thing that I told them. So.
Do you feel like circumstances the way they are, that you can be as big of a star as a Canelo Alvarez?
I think I can be bigger. I just think I can be bigger. Mexican people, they already have a lot of boxing stars and stuff, but they don't have a MMA star in Mexico. It's just me, and I gonna be that star. I'm already a star in Mexico, but I'm gonna be even huge, even bigger than that, because I know I have all the Latin American market behind me, a part of the United States too, because I'm bilingual. Even if I don't speak perfectly English, I think it's more than understandable. And I have all this advantage. A lot of people from Brazil and Russia and Europe and all that stuff, Spain, they follow me, they send me messages, and I just feel great. I feel blessed. I feel amazing. This every time that I just think about it, it just gets me more excited and more excited. It's just great the way that it is.
Going off what he says, do you feel the Mexican fan base jumping over to UFC? Maybe not walking away from boxing, but do you feel that the fan base is growing quicker in MMA for Mexican fans as opposed to boxing?
Yes. The MMA is getting bigger and bigger every time. In Mexico, more people is knowing about the sport, and even now, some people, whenever you talk to them, they don't know about the sport. But once you talk to them and you explain what this is all about, they are like, "Oh my God, that's interesting. I'll watch it." And then you show them a video or something, and then you got him. It's like, "Oh my God, I'll keep on watching this stuff." Because some people, especially old guys, they don't know the sport. Old people, but whenever you show them, and you gotta teach them. You gotta teach the people first, and then they will learn. And with experience like myself, then this sport just helped me to grow spiritually, mentally, and physically. This sport is all that about. Overcome adversity every time in training and in life. It's something that I learned with my coach. Every time, just overcome adversity, and you show that to people, and people embrace the sport. And then they start following it, and it's more and more every time.
Do you think the UFC is doing a good enough job to promote MMA in Mexico? And if you could help shape things, how would you like to promote it better in Mexico?
People are still thinking that this is a real violent sport. I won't use that word. This sport is just a sport. You get injuries just like you do in football, soccer, or even in football or NFL or whatever. You even less. You don't have that kind of concussions, or like boxing. Boxing is really aggressive too. And just because we have a little cut and then we hug each other, we are in that kind of takedowns or whatever, and the blood is all over us, that doesn't mean there's a violent sport. It just means that you have the blood all over. That's it, And but whenever you explain this to them, like in boxing, if you KO a guy, they give you 10 seconds to recover, and then you keep on fighting, and then it's again another concussion, and then again another concussion. In MMA, it's just one punch. If you knock him out or half knock him out, it's done. Or you can even finish a guy without punishing him. You can just go, take him down, grab his back, choke him out, tap. That's it, you know. No damage. To your body, to your brain, nothing. Nothing happens to you in an MMA fight, you know. And in a boxing match, I'm just putting this just an example. I'm not saying boxing is bad. You know, people who wants to follow boxing, I'm just saying this. In boxing, you train and you always punching certain parts of your body, your liver and all, your head and your stomach and all that stuff. And that's why after most of the boxing fighters, they don't have a life because they punch her really, really bad that many times that then sometimes they cannot even talk. You know, and what I'm looking for is just have a life after my career. When my career ends over, I want to have a life. I can be able to live. You know, I think this sport is perfect because I can find everything that I want in this sport. Plus, I can be safe after. You know.
So you mentioned that now you're a star in Mexico, but 3 short years ago you were filming the season of The Ultimate Fighter. How have things changed for you professionally, mentally? How's it changed your outlook?
Well, I think my mental part, it's always been there. I always think like that, but I always hide it. I always was like afraid to speak out because I thought in certain ways that if I speak out something, something bad is going to happen. We say in Mexico, el pez por su boca muera. That means then you cannot split to the sky because the split comes to you again. So basically that's why. But this is all what I've been thinking of, and of course my mindset has changed just a little. You gotta make some adjustments, and certain things. It doesn't mean that you have to change every single part of your mental game, because that's not you. That you will become someone that you are not. But whenever you learn how to adjust those little details in your mind, you can start speaking out without fear. Why you have to have fear about speaking out of what you think. People have to know how you think. You gotta speak out in order to the things happen to you, to bring that, to believe it yourself. You gotta speak out and say it out loud too.
And just to piggyback on that, Sean Shelby said that you specifically asked for Frankie Edgar. Talk a little about what was your motivation behind that.
Well, I don't really ask for him. It was part of my coaches and management team plan. They just told me, "What do you think of Frankie? I think he's the best option." If you ask me, who you rather fight, like Ricardo Lamas, Frankie Edgar, Jeremy Stevens, or Cub Swanson? Everyone is tough. Everyone is tough. I want the guy that is gonna pull me right there for the title shot. That's the way that they see it. That's the way that I see it too. It's the toughest one of all of those guys. Is the toughest one for me, on my mind. And if I can win against him, nobody will stop me. And of course I will win. I'm not here for less than that. I'm not here for do less than other guys have already done for the sport. I'm here to do more than that. I just don't want to be one more champion or one more fighter. I just want to be the guy. I want to be that guy.
I think a lot of people have problems when it comes to finishing Frankie. What skill set do you think you have the capability of finishing him, and how would you get that done?
All right, I never been knocked out until the first time, and then they knocked me out. I just have one fight, and they knocked me out in the first round. Why everybody thinks nobody can knock him out? Why not? He's human. Does he have some kind of special brain or some kind of special material? What? No. Everyone can be knocked out. Everyone can be submitted. It's a matter of who is in front of you. Or the mistakes that you can do. I did a mistake and they take advantage of it. That's my only fight. That's the only fight that I lost. That it is what it is. I was never being knocked out until that time. When it was my first time. If he never had been knocked out, why I cannot knock him out first time? Why that I don't see why people is like, oh, he's never been knocked out. Oh my God, look at that. Shit, he's never been knocked out. What? He doesn't have fucking iron brain or? Come on, guys, just wake up. I don't mind to be rude, but come on, guys.
You did mention, you did have a loss early in your career, before Ultimate Fighter, before people really knew who you were even. How much has that kind of driven you and motivated you? And I guess, what did you learn from that loss that has kind of fueled this run?
Everything, it's just, I have lost on my career, on my sports career. I have lost like second places and third places and all that shit, and I fucking hate it. And I hated it. In Mexico, some people, especially some teachers in school, they teach you, oh, it doesn't matter if you lose. You're a competitor, you're competing. I was like, fuck, man, that always, it doesn't fit on my mind. And my father told me, if you want to do something, do it well. You competing is because you're going to win. Or you're going for the win. You're going for everything. You're not going just to compete and see if you win. Tell me who remember the second places. I don't fucking remember. I don't. No, you gotta be the first one, the first place, or the champion, and you gotta be a special. It's just not enough, not anymore. Just to be the number one. You gotta be number one, and you gotta be special. In order for you to overcome all that, or if you wanna do more, you wanna be remembered on this world, or you wanna do great, really, really great, then you gotta do something special. You gotta have certain thing to do, and I'm just trying to show you guys. Just please see it. I will show it to you guys. Just give me, it's a matter of time. I just want to show it to you guys.
Obviously, as you were saying, everybody can be knocked out. It's just a matter of, when getting the right person in front of them. I guess, would it mean something special? The way that you talked about it, it seems like it would be very special to you to be able to be that guy that knocks right out.
Yeah, of course. Why not? Like, it's not like I mean, of course, he's a good fighter and everything, but why is it gonna make me special if I knock him out? Like, he's a human being, It doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to show you guys that I can really do whatever I want to do, in the sport. If I don't knock him out, I will go for another stuff. I'm going for the winning. I'm just going for the winning. I'm not here to lose. Who is in the sport to say that he's gonna lose? Nobody. I mean, I'm not here to say that I'm gonna lose against some certain guy. I'm here to say that I'm the best one and that I'm gonna win. And I wanna show it to you guys. On May 13th is the first day that I'm gonna show that to you guys. I already showed it to you guys before, but it doesn't matter because it's already in the past. But now, in the present, right here, right now, it matters. Matters May 13th, and it matters after that too. So, I think that's what I have to say.
You fight with like a really just aggressive, sort of free-flowing style. Do you need to tone that back even just a little bit because of how good of a wrestler and how veteran that Frankie is? Like, do you have to adjust your style at all because of Frankie?
No, not really. We've been practicing on everything as the same. The same. Of course, I always create. Coach Mike helped me out to create stuff. We always create stuff together. On my ground game, in my wrestling game, in my striking. Every single sense of my game, we always try to create stuff. We are always creating, I stopped watching videos a long time ago of fighting, and I dedicate myself as Coach Mike, as my other coaches, to go and improve ourselves every day there, to create new stuff, create new things that nobody has seen before. How you can take the sport to another level if you're doing what other guys are doing. You can. In order for you to take the sport to another level, you gotta do something different. Is what I'm trying to do. Is what I'm trying to show you guys. I'm doing something different. I'm taking the sport to another level. Nobody has seen that before. You guys told me that, and I see that. I put myself in risk every time that I go on fighting there, for you guys to like it and for you guys to appreciate it. I don't care if people say, "Oh, he spins a lot," or he do well. Like, guess what? Like, who was the guy who think about like, oh, I'm gonna create a light? The fuck was that? They thought that the guy was fucking crazy, right? Well, I'm creating a new style. I'm crazy. Yes, I'm crazy. Tell me crazy. This is all what I cannot take that out of my mind. It's just create stuff, create new stuff, bring in new styles. And we just become the best fighter in the world, just the champion. This is all is what is in my mind right now. It's winning. Is that all about?